Welcome back to Really Ringwood.
Welcome back.
Have you gotten some interesting mail lately?
You know, once in a while there is an interesting piece of mail that comes in.
Yeah. For some of our registered Republican friends in town, earlier this month you received some interesting mail. It was a letter from Mayor Sean Noonan. And this letter, in addition to just sort of, pumping up the Republicans in town and getting them prepared for the election, had specific information in there about voting by mail. There was a pre-filled out form that voters could sign and send back and get ballots in their mail. And this is presented as something that makes voting easier and better for the citizens of Ringwood. However, this letter only went out to Republicans in town. It did not go to a single unaffiliated or Democratic voter. And so this is a blatant power grab from Mayor Noonan to try to keep himself in power. This is not about making things easier for Ringwood residents. This is not about making people able to vote if they work on election day or if they're sick on election day. This is about making sure that the Republican base is getting in their votes and to hell with everybody else. And because this is an audio and visual medium, we felt that we should present this in a dramatic fashion. So here is a dramatic reading of Mayor Noonan's letter.
From the desk of Mayor Sean Noonan, August 30th, 2023.
I hope you are having an enjoyable summer. I take the responsibility of serving as your mayor seriously. It has been a successful year and a half for the borough. We are moving towards the redevelopment of our shopping centers with no new housing, working to bring in new grant money to provide services without burdening taxpayers, passing weight restrictions on Skyline Lakes Drive, honoring our veterans and fallen heroes, and enhancing the water quality of our lakes, all while Ringwood being named the second saftest... Saftest? Hey Gil, should this be saftest or safest?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's safest.
Safest? But they have to get rid of the spell check budget to give Heck a raise? Jeez. Second safest town in the state. I want to build on this success by ensuring a fiscally responsible and conservative majority is elected this November. I proudly support the Republican team of Jamie Mateo Landis, Michelle Kerr, Zoltan Karali, Yvonne Eccles, and Paul Rubacki for council. It is an especially important election in Ringwood, as 5 Republican seats on Borough Council are up this year, and we are fighting off liberal Democrats who want nothing more than to make Ringwood a California in the woods. And not only is this a very important election in Ringwood, but it is an exciting one for Republicans across the state. Republicans, for the first time in 24 years, have an excellent shot of winning a majority in the New Jersey state legislature. Winning the legislative chamber would put a stop to Phil Murphy and his insane woke agenda. Included in this letter is a pre-filled vote-by-mail application for this year's general election in November. In fact, I humbly ask you to consider voting by mail in every election. 2023 will be a low-turnout election, and every single vote will make a difference. I'm hoping this will make it easier for you to vote in every election. All you have to do is sign your name and put the application in the mail to receive a ballot so you can vote from home. You can either mail your ballot back to the County Board of Elections or use the convenient drop box located at Ringwood Borough Hall, 60 Margaret King Drive. As a favor to me, it would mean a lot to me if you would take advantage of this and help our beautiful town and party.
So we think there's a few things that are important to note from this letter. The first is the first paragraph that talks about what a successful year and a half they've had. But aside from honoring the veterans and passing weight limits, everything else that he talks about are things they're planning to do. Well, why did they wait until now to start? Why couldn't those things have happened in the past year and a half instead of waiting right before an election to get started?
Secondly, let's listen to how he is characterizing the Democrats running. Quote, "We are fighting off liberal Democrats who want nothing more than to make Ringwood a California in the woods." Now, perhaps coincidentally, A Fresh Start for Ringwood released their platform at 6:49 p.m. on August 29th, according to Facebook. And less than 24 hours later, Mayor Noonan dated this letter. Is his characterization of the Democratic's platform why he made these statements? Or was this letter already written and he characterized them thusly without actually reading the platform? We can't know, but the timing is coincidental, if not suspect.
The last bit that is worth a bit of a discussion is his characterization of Governor Murphy's, quote, woke agenda. This is a Republican greatest hit, which they make sure to play all the time. But what is it about Murphy's plan that they actually oppose? Why does it seem that Murphy and the terms Democrats, woke, Antifa, and liberal are used as straw men to attack without ever really delving into the actual policies and ideas that these people represent.
We would fully understand if there were specific concerns that Mayor Noonan had about Governor Murphy's agenda.
Yeah.
But he doesn't list them. He just
attacks.
And remember, according to a Board of Education member on Facebook, the Democrats in town are, quote, good for bashing people. That's all they know. Their past will haunt them. But here we have a Republican mayor bashing his opponents indiscriminately without citing any actual policies or beliefs.
By contrast, the full platform for A Fresh Start for Ringwood never once mentions Republicans, either by party or by name. All of the campaign materials from A Fresh Start contain ideas about what's best for the town, not just name-calling and bullying.
So even though the Democrats supposedly are good for bashing people, we haven't seen that yet. We have seen the people who are already elected, those who happen to be Republicans, bashing people, and frankly, we expected better. One last bit that we think was really, really important, we wanted to make sure got out there in this episode. If you look at the very bottom of this letter, you will see a note. And this note's really important because it says paid for by Bergen for Assembly and then an address. Now, Brian Bergen is a Republican running for Assembly in the 26th District of New Jersey, which, as of this year, is now our district. And so, here is a letter written supposedly by the mayor in the first person, but it's being paid for by another politician. Now, I'm not saying that Brian Bergen and Mayor Noonan can't have similar goals or similar objectives, but it seems very disingenuous to have a letter written in one voice, signed by one person, but paid for by another. This is another reason why this letter does not sit right with us, and we hope that you consider this and the entire contents of the letter when making your voting decision later this year.